Welcome back to the Nerdrotic Podcast. My name is Gary Buechler. I come to you from nerdrotic.com, and I'm live in San Francisco, California, and down in San Diego, as usual, is my man, Dennis Bithoulkas. What's up?
Nothing much. We're into another episode of Happy.
Happy.
And I'm happy for Happy.
I'm really happy for Happy. This is starting to be one of my really favorite shows. Tonight's episode, they just get better as it goes on. This was a kick-ass episode.
And dude, how many F-bombs? I mean, this was almost, like watching Scarface in a way. The F-bombs that just keep getting dropped in these episodes.
I cannot believe this is on commercial TV.
I know, me either.
There's commercials running. So when they talk about demonetizing videos on YouTube, that is some BS, yo.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot. I saw Acura sponsoring this and
Xbox. Xbox sponsored this.
Nice man spreading there on the Xbox commercial, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
And they did a SyFy wire where they talked about a comic book. I was like, what the hell? That was great. Yeah, the comic book commercials on TV and like SyFy wire talking about SyFy has become what it's supposed to be.
A SyFy TV channel?
A SyFy TV channel that talks about sci-fi stuff.
Yeah.
Even though they still spell it wrong, but that's okay. That's all right. We'll forgive that if you keep giving us good television, which is Happy is phenomenal. It is creeping up.
This is actually making me look forward to Krypton now,
I think Krypton's going to kick ass, personally.
I'm hoping. I mean, this shows promise because of this.
Well, you take the good elements from Man of Steel, and there were good elements in it, right? And they can make something good. Now, what's going on here with Happy is debauchery. It's pure and utter debauchery, and I'm loving every minute of it. They threw in Big Trouble in Little China. There's a lot of nods to everything. There's still that crank motion going on. And like I just said, this is rising up to the level of Ash vs. Evil Dead. Like if it's definitely in that area where you love, if you love that, that wheelhouse, that is, they fit together. That'd be great. That our wheelhouse for sure. It would be a great double feature. So if you're an Ash vs. Evil Dead fan, you should be watching the show. And hopefully you watch the show because you're watching us now because we're going to spoil the hell out of it.
Yep.
So we still have Nick Sachs looking for his daughter, Haley, who he just found out he had. A brief history on Nick Sachs, if you aren't caught up. Ex-cop, pretty much a superhero, but wasn't a really great guy. Witnessed a pretty brutal murder of a baby in a microwave. It broke his spirit right before his wife was going to tell him that she was pregnant with his daughter, and it broke their relationship up, so he didn't know he had a kid. Also, he was sleeping with his partner, Meredith, which made things a bit worse. And he went off the deep end and became a hitman, and a very good one at that. And
drug addict, pill popping, alcoholic hitman.
Working for a Mr. Blue, who he has a lot of people in his employ, including Smoothie. Everybody made an appearance this episode.
Yeah, they did.
A masterful job of editing and storytelling, by the way. Through all this craziness that happened, this is even going to be tough to recap because so much stuff happened at such a high pace. You almost have to watch this episode twice, but it was so good and so funny.
You know what? This is a 30-minute episode completely, because with the commercials it's 48 minutes because they truncated the commercials. This half hour had more in it than most 2-hour movies that we shall not name that we already bagged on already in 3 episodes. So and more exposition and just more plot even.
Absolutely.
How
they stuff so much plot, characterization, great acting with pretty much 48 minutes of action. Even when this thing is always in motion, when Nick Sachs is just talking to Happy. By the way, there's a blue flying horse.
Yes.
We almost forget about that. A unicorn, a blunicorn, whatever the hell it is. Assicorn, whatever it is.
Yeah, I believe I put in my notes here, puking up unicorns. That's
that little ad that they put on Twitter of Happy throwing up rainbow colored like sherbet or whatever.
I didn't see that.
Oh my God, go to my Twitter. Yeah, I retweeted it from SyFy. So we start out right where last episode ended with Very Bad Santa grabbing Happy, and he can see Happy, and Happy's like, wait a minute, you can't see me unless you believe in me. And then I don't know, he talks out of his puppet hand,
Yep.
Very Bad Santa, but it's not really his voice. And then he consumes Happy after he this is right after he beat the crap out of Nick. Like, and Nick's a badass. Nick has taken out he took out 4 Italian mobsters. He's taken out entire gangs of people pretty easily, and he got his ass handed to him by Very Bad Santa, who was throwing him around like he's a superhero. So yeah, Happy got 8, and right before Very Bad Santa was going to do him in, Happy got puked up. And this is all before, and that's right when the credits land.
Yeah.
Like, he pukes up Happy, and he lands, and it goes Happy. And I was like, that was so well done.
I've had nights like that though, puking up unicorns.
I've seen them, but that was magic mushrooms. That's just a thing with magic mushrooms. I didn't see him like come to life. There, I was at this girl's house, and she had a couple unicorn candles, and they started moving. It was cool. I digress. Many years ago, by the way, many years ago. Yes. So we spoil everything, and if you are watching live and are in the comments and leaving comments, go ahead and do that in the chat. We will get to you after our recap, and we'll start answering your questions, or I don't know, repeating your comments or criticisms or corrections. Either one is fine. So, yeah, I guess Very Bad Santa got a little freaked out when he puked up Happy, so he took off, which I thought was
the cops
weird.
were coming. The cops were coming.
Oh, the cops were coming. Okay. So they had to leave, but apparently he puked up a fortune. So when he eats his fortune cookies, he just eats them. Is that unusual?
No, not if he's just kind of, swallowing the entire fortune cookie, which I'm thinking that's what he's doing.
Yeah. So, which is Nick's first clue. So Nick and Happy end up going to a fortune cookie factory. And in the meantime, Meredith and Amanda are at another couple's house, right? And I thought it was the same couple from 2 episodes ago, or was it last?
I thought last episode. Yeah, I thought it was the same couple at first as well. Then that's the one thing they didn't do really well, was like explain that it was another couple who had a child taken, that they were going to their house. And yeah, they're standing outside and saying, what are the chances that this kid was taken by the same person? We're just I can't wait at every person's house waiting for a messenger to show up. And just that happens, the messenger shows up and pulls out the little red card. And of course, Amanda and Meredith grab him.
And we cannot forget that, because we omitted. I didn't think we talked about Jerry Springer showing up in an episode. Which
we did. We did.
Okay. So this episode, their little sidebar was the Sirens of Sussex.
The Secrets of My Sussex TV.
The show, Secrets of My Sussex, which is a Real Housewives, which I totally want to watch this show, by the way. No, we feel bad for Isabella. She lost all 4 kids at once. And again, it took me a minute to figure out what the hell was going on, because it's so fast. I'm like, oh, these are the 4 people that Nick killed in the first episode. And who was Isabella? I forget the actress's name. The one from Goodfellas.
She is Debbie Mazar.
Yeah, she's awesome, by the way.
Yeah,
she's brilliant. So they have the Sussex Housewives or whatever. And what did the one say on the treadmill?
She says, "Death is a part of being Italian. Death and a good sauce."
And a good sauce. Yeah. Yeah. So So we get back to Amanda and Meredith, and that messenger kind of rolls up right when they needed him to.
Yep. And the messenger turns out that he's just the delivery guy, like FedEx kind of thing, and he picks it up from a drop house, and they want information from him, like where he picked it up from, and he isn't going to tell them anything. And he says, "Hey, I'm just trying to pay for my schooling at Juilliard. I'm playing piano." And so of course they're like, "Oh, okay, you're a piano player, huh?" So they put his hand inside the spokes of his motorcycle, with Meredith holding the gun to his head, and Amanda just right there on the throttle, getting ready to rev it.
Yeah.
And he spills the beans at the drop of a hat. And I love Meredith's line. She goes, "Piano, you're such a good singer. You should switch over to that vocation."
Uh-huh. Oh my God. Again, too many great one-liners and comedian, and we're not going to reenact them here. Just go back and watch them. The thing was funny as hell. Okay,
Yeah.
it was funny. I want to mention real quick while I'm thinking of it is, and apologies if I mess up your name. You can always correct me in the chat. Catherine Lafrare, who is Anna Teresa on Happy. Subscribed to us and was following us on Twitter.
Nice.
So that, and she's on the show. So that shout out. That is awesome. That is great. Yes, we are going to be singing that. If you're looking for us to criticize this show, this is going to be a lot like Tick and Ash vs. Evil Dead. Not going to happen. If you want criticism, go somewhere else. Because I have done.
As another quote that was saying, I love a story with a happy ending. And as Nick said, I never pass one up.
Yeah, right. Are you a guy? Yeah. What do you not like about Chinatown, Nick? You guy?
Oh wow, yeah. There's just so much in this. The yin yang fish too. The not dead, not alive. It's just wrong. I mean, completely wrong.
Everything about this show is wrong in all the right ways. Yeah. So Nick, so he gets his little clue. And he has to go to Chinatown. And that's when we get the line, like, what do you hate about Chinatown? There's a great montage of Nick, just getting messed up in Chinatown.
And pissing off a lot of people.
Pissing off a lot of people. In a lot of ways, he's like Ash.
He really is.
Yeah.
He's the chosen one.
Yeah, he is the chosen one. Proving that whatever God's in this universe has a sense of humor. So,
okay. And I'm just going to say it because, the universe is a callous, indifferent bitch, and it will, mess you every chance it gets. And when you think it's done with you, it'll flip you right over and screw you from behind. Of course, screw and mess are different words there.
Yes. And they're in the fortune cookie factory. And apparently every fortune goes to where it's supposed to go in this universe, and they have extensive records, and Nick finds out where the fortune cookie came from.
That's why he's at that particular restaurant looking up for the messenger to find out where Santa is.
Yeah, well, before he does that great universe line, Happy's all, she's trying to help us be nice. He's all, be as nice as I can. I don't believe this BS,
I do like when she gets in his face. He goes, "I'm really hard right now."
No, I have. When he's in the restaurant, he gets recognized and by the triads, and because there's just triads in every Chinatown. Didn't you know that?
Well, the entire underworld is looking for him because he has the password. The word is out that he has the password, and he doesn't care about the password. He probably doesn't even know what the password was that was given to him. And everyone is out, basically gunning for him now because Blue has a target on his head. He wants that password.
Well, and you're starting to see where Blue is kind of screwing up too. So these 4 kids that Nick hit in the first episode, that hit was from Blue.
Yeah.
So we have Isabella coming in the picture. And those were her 4 sons. So she confronts Blue about it, and Blue turns it around on her because she's filming this reality TV show. And I love how he's like, before I was such a good man, I've done some bad things, but I've never sunk this low. And he points over to the reality TV crew.
Yeah, and he basically says that, it's her fault because of all the sins that she's committed against God, and God is basically punishing her by killing her kids. Kind of like he killed all those little Egyptian kids back in historical times.
God smote you, or whatever the hell he smite.
He even say smote. He just said it wrong. He said,
I thought he said smote. He said it like, yeah. Oh my god, the guy playing him, who the hell? He is so freaking good. The overacting is perfect.
Yeah,
It's
that
perfect overacting.
is Richie Coster. That's his name.
Yeah,
He plays Francisco Scaramucci or Blue.
he was in Dark Knight. I played the Russian that the Joker
Oh, that's
was
right.
originally
Yeah.
going to set on fire, but they decided to change that scene a little bit when he burned the
Yes.
pile of money. Yeah, with the
Jeez,
dogs.
I didn't recognize him without the long stringy hair.
Yes, yeah, that's him. So yeah, Isabella is on. I think she's on to Mr. Blue. She just needs the proof, especially after that got turned around on her. And before that, there was a scene where she had to go ID the bodies, and she brought the reality crew in, and Blue confronted her there, but they blurred him out. And she did her, Italian mother crying over her baby boys after being killed. And that was pretty good. A pretty convincing scene. And yeah, this show so quickly takes you. There's actual emotions in this, which is hard to, not super deep. Okay, let's not get crazy here. But it does like get real for a second in all this kinetic energy that's going on.
Just to slow it down just a little bit and then pick it right back up again.
Yeah, and it's not even putting brakes on. It's just letting your foot off the gas just a little bit,
It's coasting just enough to kick you out of the car so you can
Yep,
roll with it.
exactly. Good analogy there. I like that. So yeah, so Mr. Blue gets contacted at his house by somebody. A car pulls up. We see a door open. We don't see anybody driving it. We don't see anybody in the car. And he rolls up on a new character, who I actually thought they were going to go like, this is a bug. That's what I thought was going on
so
at first.
too. Yeah.
So
and he's just called the Bug.
He's called the Bug, and he was talking to you guys. He's all, you know what a bug doesn't like, and he's like, or what a bug likes, and he's all, dead flesh. He's all, no, darkness. So, but it turns out to be a guy in a bug suit with latex gloves, or a girl. I think it could be either at this point. It's a modulated voice, but the hands looked a little small to me. I'm just saying, but it's somebody in a bug suit who's pulling Mr. Blue's strings, and we find out that Mr. Blue, and again, spoiler warning, hired very bad Santa to collect those children.
Yep.
So Mr. Blue has been behind everything, and how this is all connected. So when we were at the fortune cookie place, Dennis, they were trying to tell us like everything's connected, and then we find out everything's absolutely connected for some reason or another. And again, amidst all this is this really funny, cute, talking blue donkey. And sometimes you forget he's there. So Happy doesn't, they don't overdo Happy.
No, they sprinkle him in liberally enough to the point where he can be annoying, but he isn't. He usually is just the exposition to move things along enough. And sometimes he is, the happy dance or the dance of hope. The dance of hope was a little bit on the annoying side, but I could see, where it was needed to push Nick to that realization of just getting him pissed off enough where he stood up and he finally had his revelation of where Bad Santa was hiding out.
Yeah. And believe it or not, Happy is who the audience identifies with, because you can't identify with anybody else in the show. Okay. Yes. Everybody else sucks except for Haley's mom, Amanda. She's kick ass, but I mean, she's supposed to be. She's looking for her daughter, and Haley, of course. But other than that, Happy is the person we identify with, because everybody else is horrible in the show, but in a very funny way.
And so also the Bug tells Blue that they need to move things up, and the children need to be put in what is called the prep stage for delivery, because they're supposed to be under the tree for certain customers
on Christmas Day. Christmas morning. So they had to move it up. For what reason? Well, the Bug noticed that Mr. Blue was on that reality show, even though his face was blurred out. So Mr. Blue was right. Like, you should have turned the cameras off, but I don't think Isabella cares. And and Isabella made a lot of money off of this reality show, I guess. And that's why she's being punished, I guess. I don't know.
That's what he was trying to say, was that everything she's done up to that point, that's the reason why she's being punished.
So when Mr. Bug leaves, he leaves out a back door, And then you kind of see like you're like, okay, it's a dude in a bug suit. What the? I mean, that's cool and everything, but what the hell? This show's getting really weird. And then you see why he's in a bug suit, which I can't believe this normalizes the scene, but it's just a bunch of people in bug suits having sex in the background. You're like, oh,
It's a party.
okay,
It's a bug party going on
that
in the
makes
back.
sense. That's why the guy's wearing a bug suit. I get it. So that must have been
And
a connection to our prawn, even though it's not a bug, but it is. Okay, it's
yeah,
a sea bug,
it's our
just like
fourth.
lobster and crab.
It's
They're
our
just
fourth blowjob scene too.
it was. We did not get to see Nick's ass this episode,
Thankfully,
but we got a blowjob. So Dennis, of course, was assuming it's Angel. Because
every time we
that's the kind
see
of guy he is.
someone doing a blowjob, it's usually Angel. So that's what I was kind
Well,
of.
there's more people in the world that get blowjobs than
I
just
know,
Angel.
I know, but I'm thinking Angel might actually be a real angel.
In this universe, I buy that. I
Yeah,
buy that.
which I would say in Grant Morrison's perverse sense of humor, yes, that's where it's going.
Oh, we're just getting started with this dude.
Oh
Grant
yeah,
Morrison has made him and Garth Ennis. I don't know what happened to them in their childhood. I really don't.
I know.
I feel terrible for him though.
Yeah,
I really do, and I'm glad they found an outlet. I really am because I think they will both be killers, or I don't even want to say. Um, Garth Ennis, side story here, real quick, is one of those guys who likes to. The one time I met him, he was in San Francisco because he wanted to go see the great white shark. So he's one of those guys who went down there in the cage and hung out, swam with the sharks.
Mhm.
And of course, he made a joke. It wasn't as bad as like going down to Hollywood or something like that, which he's probably right. Swimming with Sharks is a great movie, by the way, with the now disgraced Kevin Spacey, but probably one of his best movies ever. Okay, so they walk through the room and there's a bunch of bug people having sex, and I think in maybe it's just me, but in my weird way, I think it was Morrison kind of doing slamming the furries a little bit.
Well, he's been doing it every
furry.
episode. Just about every episode, we've had somebody in a suit.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys know who the furries are. They've actually been. I first heard of them at Comic-Con because there's a group of them that go to Comic-Con, have been for years. It's a community now that's it just is. I won't make any commentaries beyond that.
Whatever floats your boat, as long as it doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, as long as you don't hurt anybody. I'm just saying that, like, if I was gonna profile anybody, be a furry. Would definitely be on a list for sure, for certain dastardly deeds. So after that, so we see that Mr. Blue is scared of something, and there's definitely something supernatural going on here. After last episode and this episode, Very Bad Santa is obviously either like a demon or possessed somebody, or he's just a flat out just really strong guy. I don't know.
Psychotic.
Oh, well, he's definitely psychotic, but I think
it gives him like strength,
possessing him or something like that. So Isabella, I mean, believe me, we're like halfway through the episode, and you're right. It was like a movie's worth of stuff in this 48 minutes. Isabella goes to an old Italian woman who
she's basically like a seer,
psychic. A seer, a psychic, and she brings her a hamburger,
two cheeseburgers.
Okay, no Coke, Pepsi, and she smokes a cigarette and sees and talks to the dead.
Yeah, she communes with the dead
through a TV. And she's talking to her 4 sons, and for a minute you're like, oh, okay, so she's just full of crap because she got the number of her sons wrong. She's like, you're 3 sons, and she's like, wait a minute, what 3 sons? So Isabella runs back to the morgue, pulls the bodies out to see if her 4 sons are there.
Before she does, she gets from the old woman that Mikey isn't with the 3 sons.
Yeah. She said that, okay, so she finds out what specific one isn't there, but she finds out she's talking to 3 boys, and the seer also mentions that the enemy is in your house, like the person who killed your sons lives in your house. So I don't know, I didn't think Isabella lived there, but I think it probably meant in your house, like in your family, I'm assuming. Your family, so she runs back to the morgue, and Mikey's body is gone. So, and the one thing you pointed out in our very long pre-production meeting was Mikey knew the password.
Mikey didn't know the password, and I was thinking, and this is just theory now, he could have made a deal with whatever demon, because he was talking about demons as being real. That's what the Dawn had told him, and he was very scared about this. I'm thinking he might have made a deal with a demon to come back
in case something happened.
Yes.
You know, and he didn't strike me. He didn't want to run out there and kill anybody, by the way. And when they did this reverse hit on Nick, it was a reverse hit by Nick.
Yes.
So yeah, and he seemed more scared, and that's why he was like, "Mama, forgive me," when he was dying. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see him coming back. And I think that is a little foreshadowing for something else. Again, we're not going to spoil the comic for you because it's gone not completely off comic, but it's added a lot of stuff. And that's been the biggest surprise about this show is what they've added in has been so good.
Yeah. It's been really good. And I mean, just the amount they've packed in here. This is not like light, filler TV, if you will, filler episodes or anything like that. They are utilizing every single episode to give you as much story as possible and as much action as possible. It's really a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like I am, like I said, every podcast, I was ready to shill for this anyway because of my buddy Derek. I mean, it looks like the comic. It looks like Derek Robertson's art. It is Grant Morrison's writing because he's writing it. Every joke that was in the comics has made it into the show and more.
Yeah.
And I did I was reading that comic, like the first time I cracked that comic, the first few pages, you see the prawn getting blown by Angel. You see, guys just getting murdered horribly. And I'm like, oh man, this is great. Cause this is Morrison back to his, back to basics. He was right after he did his big, long Batman run and done a bunch of superhero stuff. And I think he just needed to get a bunch of stuff out, and Derek's art is perfect. And this show delivers. I mean, the first episode is almost panel for panel, the comic book. And then it sprawls out to something wonderful and happy. I didn't think they could do it this good. I guess the first guy who voiced it sucked, so they got Patton. Patton's perfect for it. It would nice for us nerds to get Patton back because Patton seems to have big timed all of us a little bit, and his comedy's kind of gotten meh. But it's nice to see him get his darkness back a little bit. But that's what happens when you're happy. Of course, I'm sorry about his wife and everything. But it is, like I mentioned last podcast, it is cool that Patton's working on it because Patton and Derek used to be buds back in the day. Derek used to draw his flyers for his comedy shows that 5 people used to show up to, including Derek. So, yeah. So after we find out that was Isabella's like rolled into the show and like took it over, like her stare down with Mr. Blue. Like I think Isabella might become the big bad. I think Blue might bite it, and then they might, because Isabella, I automatically like her as a character. It's weird is I like every character in this.
Actually, what cracked me up the most was Blue's wife. When he goes to go answer the doorbell after he's basically told her that she's the reason why her sons died, and he leaves the table, leaving Isabella with Blue's wife and child, and the wife turns to Isabella and goes, "Would you like a frappuccino?" And that look that Isabella gives her, the death look
with those eyes.
Yeah.
Oh my god! And no, and the scene with the kids all, "I want to be a hitman when I grow up." Mr. Blue's all, "That's my boy." And she's like, and then Isabella's
like, "Writes it down."
Hitman, they do it. They don't do it because they like killing. That's for a sociopath. I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah.
You do it because you're a businessman and you like money.
For money.
Which one are you going to be?
Doesn't get any pleasure. Sociopath gets pleasure out of it. You don't want to do that. And the kid's like, pleasure. Okay.
So back to Nick. Okay, so all this crap is happening. We got Nick running through Chinatown. The triads catch up to him, and we get a cool little fight scene. This is the scene that reminds me of Big Trouble in Little China. And he takes out 6 of them while holding that one. He kills the guy, then keeps him up while holding his knife, and then stabs all his friends while the other guy is still holding his knife.
He's holding the back of the guy's neck, so he's holding him up, and then he's holding the guy's hand that's holding the knife. and he's stabbing other guys with this guy's hand knife.
And right
He's like,
before that, he like swipes Happy away, right? So he's out of
yeah,
this. And the choreography of that was so freaking cool. I mean, you could tell it was it was probably like really slow and lame looking without the good editing, but that was really cool. And then he gets hit in the head with the nunchucks. He's all, ow. And then the guy with the nunchucks gets hit by a truck. You saw that coming. Like Nick was just backing up across the street, and then the truck coming. I was waiting for it. I'm like,
yeah.
3, 2, 1, yes. Still wasn't disappointed though. That was funny as hell though. That was just a great scene. And
I did like the joke though that Nick, there's only 5 of you. With 6 you get egg roll, and they're like, that's really offending. He goes, that's really offensive. Offensive? You guys are trying to kill me.
I know. Which that joke works on so many levels. That was the second hardest I laughed. The first hardest I laughed was when he was trying to speak Chinese, being interpreted from Happy to the waitress. I don't know why that scene was so goddamn funny to me. Bong bong or whatever the hell he said. He's like, "What? Are you serious?"
He turns and goes, "You really fucking kidding me?" And oh man, that was good. That was some good stuff.
So they're running through Chinatown, and they meet the kid. All right. So after that, I'm getting out of order here, but they meet a kid inside the restaurant who apparently can lead them to Very Bad Santa because he sold Very Bad Santa his weed.
Well, he also used to sell him a crap load of food. As he said, he goes, I'm pretty sure, I thought a lot of illegals were living there, but I think it's a sweatshop because there's nobody there. And he goes, I'm given enough food to feed at least 30 Cambodians, which I thought was just wrong.
Otherwise, I sell weed. He's like, I don't need, well, maybe just a J, So he ends up on a roof and he's trying to light his J, and he's talking about white fate and Happy's doing the dance of hope. What hope is this lighter, and oh my god, and it just brought back so many bad memories of like being homeless in Encinitas and having that last cigarette, my lighter. Like I'm trying to like rub stones together to get a spark to light that cigarette I can't light. Sorry, I don't want to digress into that. Bad days. So fate does intercede, and they find their way to Gimbel's, and that is where Meredith is. Now, Meredith ended up there from the bike messenger, had to convince Amanda to stay behind. Creepy scene running through Gimbel's old department store, and they both converge on each other, and Meredith stabs Nick in his good leg with a pair of scissors, because for some reason he jumps on her. I mean, that was probably a bad move on his part.
They came around the corner. It was basically they both came around the corner at the same time. And yeah, he jumped on her because he didn't know who she was. And then he's trying to tell her, because he realizes, and that's when she just grabs a scissors and stabs him in the leg.
So they find all the boxes. They find out where Very Bad Santa was, and he was just there. His cigarette was still smoldering in the ashtray, but all the kids are gone. And you see a scene where Very Bad Santa's driving all the kids away, and you see Haley in the back going, Happy and my dad are going to come save us. And they're like, how? So all the kids are still alive. Yeah. There's about 6 of them, right?
8, I think, altogether. I think there's 2 rows of 4.
And Very Bad Santa's smoking a J and making them sing the 12 Days of Christmas.
Yeah. He goes, sing it again. He bangs on the back door.
And my son, I know I'm a bad father. I didn't know he was standing behind me for that last 5 minutes. And he's like, what are you watching, Dad? I'm like, get out of my room. Yeah. He can handle it. He's a little gamer. I'm sure he sees worse on YouTube every day when I'm not watching him. So that was the end of a crazy episode. I don't know if I even hit everything. Did we hit everything?
I think we did. Yeah, I don't think there was anything else that we had that was.
I'm going to check and see if we got some comments.
Oh, we got a lot of comments. I just happened to look at it myself here.
Oh, you can start us off if you want, man.
Let me scroll up to the top here. How come Happy didn't die when Santa ate him? This is from RoboBrain 10,000.
He's super powered.
Well, no, I think what he did was he started stabbing Bad Santa with his horn inside because you could see he was fighting his way out. And
it looked to me like Santa didn't take a bite. He
No,
just
he
swallowed them
swallowed him.
whole.
Yeah.
So, but I'm thinking Happy being an imaginary thing, he's probably like Roger Rabbit. Like he could take a lot of punishment. Um, that would be my best guess.
Oh, he
Ricky,
also, I take it back. He also says later on, he said, I guess my question isn't why Happy didn't die, but could Santa have bitten off Happy's appendages or hurt him gravely, even kill? Swallowing Happy whole was just stupid. Yeah.
yeah, it was in the script. That's the
Yeah.
only thing I can say. Yeah, I would have taken a big chunk out of his head. I'd have gone, okay, I'll end this guy right now. Um, but then again, maybe you can't because he's probably rubbery nothing. I don't know. Ricky Gaji says the fight in Chinatown was epic. I thought so. I thought
Yeah.
this whole episode was epic. Evening Ghost World.
No, Ghost World. Ghost World actually
Gents
has
and Gary. I get what you said there. I
Ghost
never said
World.
I was a gentleman.
Ghost will ask, hey, do you guys like it when a show based on a book or comic began writing unique stories and begin to go off comic? Is there a line you draw as to how much difference between the two? I like it. I mean, honestly, I'm still watching Walking Dead. I know a lot of people aren't at this moment, and it's far off comic, and I like it that it's off comic. And this is off comic too. I'm fine with that as long as it's good. You know, if they start going off comic and just start going boring or making it into something lame like something else that you've already seen before, then yeah, I'm not too happy with it. It depends on the what they're doing with the story.
Yeah. With this particular story, I was expecting it because it's a 4-issue run and it's got a pretty concise ending. So I was looking forward to seeing the change, and knowing that Morrison was involved, I figured it would be pretty good. But like I said last podcast, a lot of people have passed on Grant Morrison as far as television and movie writing, and they're regretting it right now because
Yep.
he's really good. He's really, really good.
Yeah, he is.
As good as he is a comic writer. And that sucks because as comic fans, we're going to lose him now forever. He's not, because like I know for a fact he wants to quit writing comic books.
Yeah.
I've heard it out of the man's mouth.
Ricky Gaji. Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
I was also going to say, like, I don't mind as long as they keep the characters right. Don't do anything out of character and keep the tone of the comic. You can go off book all you want because they're different. They're just absolutely different mediums. So there's certain things you can't do in comics. So that's why the Raimi Spider-Man movies, they're not perfect. They do a lot of things I would have, done differently, but they're my favorite Spider-Man movies. Peter Parker's not perfect, but everything else, even the bad guys are kind of, Green Goblin looks kind of lame, but I love those movies. So I'm okay with some of it. Some stuff I'm crazy. I'm dogmatic. I don't know, with Doctor Who, I'm kind of weird with it. Apparently with Star Trek, I thought I was way more flexible in Star Trek than I was. Even with Star Wars to a little bit, I thought I was, even though I'm over that, I still have issues with that. So I don't know.
Ricky Gaji asks, when will you guys do a podcast about The Boys? When there's a show about The Boys, which is coming out on Amazon.
When after the first episode drops, we will do it. We will probably do 1 or 2 podcasts reviewing the comic books. I could see that happening in the first couple months of next year, for sure.
All right.
I'm wearing a boy's shirt, by the way. The only one they made.
Ash vs. Evil Dead hat is what I'm wearing.
There you go.
There. So, sorry, and then we got a lot. As long actually, Jody and Ghost were both talking to Ricky Gaji there, and then, well, to be fair, weren't Star Trek and Star Wars movies first? Yes, they were. It was from Jody.
They were. And I guess I'm talking about. I feel like the later are adaptations of the original, and not remakes, or it's poor. But Christopher Nolan's Batman is a good example of he took it to the limit. I don't find it to be true Batman. 2 movies I love, 1 movie I don't. And it's the 3rd movie where he takes a great example is Dark Knight Rises, when Batman quits. That's the stupidest thing ever. That's a great example of going too far. over a girlfriend. Like he becomes a superhero in the Dark Knight over his parents, but when he loses a girl he didn't even put a wedding ring on and didn't have any children with, like he goes nuts and quits. Wuss. What's up, Jody?
Eric Barley asks, why do you think Nick and Haley can only see Happy, and Bad Santa? Well, Haley and Nick, Happy already said that because Haley believes in Happy, and so does Santa, Bad Santa. That's why they can see him. And then Nick is related to Haley. So because of his near-death experience, that's why Nick can also see Happy as well.
That's what we're assuming.
Well, he said that.
I think Very Bad Santa's like whatever he's possessed by can see Happy.
Yeah.
As far as Nick, I think it's because he's being kept alive. That's the other thing. Like he should be dead.
Oh yeah,
he should be dead, and they make that point in the comic book, like he can't die, and there's a reason. So yeah, reasons we'll say. I hate that answer though. It's supernatural. It definitely is. Oh no, you're doing a great job.
Well, the rest of it's talking about Disney and Star Wars and Marvel. So
oh my god, oh my god, if I was off this week we would do podcasts every day because the story changes every day.
Yeah, it does. I mean, they keep coming up with new excuses about.
I'm looking at my recommended field, like I'm watching our video on our recommended field, and 3 down is Star Wars: Return of the Excuses by the World Class Bullshitters. Who, if you really want to hate on Star Wars, these guys are the best. They bring it. That's hilarious. Yeah, we could definitely do more, although we promise not to, but it's still out there and people still want to talk about it. So we'll be there for you. I would say Friday night we will talk about it some more. Because there's a lot of spinning going along, a lot of spinning.
Hey Gary,
I think Disney's got caught doing a couple things too. So
Ricky Gaji asks, where can he get a boy shirt like what you have on?
Graffiti Arts, I think, still has them. You know what? Go to my about section. And there's an email. It says sutrawatchtower@gmail.com. It's our old name of our podcast. The about section of this channel. Hit me up with an email and I'll find out for you. I don't know if they still make it or not. Other than that, I'd say eBay.
Jody says Nolan's first 2 Batman movies are awesome, but Dark Knight Rises was kind of a missed opportunity. They could have gone the Batman Beyond route and set it way in the future. I don't know, not with that Batman. It just it didn't seem right. I mean, Nolan was doing his own thing. He had a beginning and an end in mind. And Jonathan was the one who wrote a good majority of that story. That's the reason why it played so well. So
I think it got too topical and got way too into the Occupy movement, which dated it for me. And it got like taking over the city of Pittsburgh, which they call Gotham.
Yeah.
And that whole football thing. It's like you never put, I don't know. I have a thing about putting fake sports in any entertainment. It just reeks of lameness. I don't know. That whole thing. There's I liked Bane. I actually did like Bane. I like Catwoman. I just didn't like Batman. I just didn't like Batman. And there's like, and the whole tease with Robin thing. Just give us Robin.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I did not like the movie.
The third movie was kind of a letdown.
Pretty awful. This show is great though.
Yes. Ghost World says, hey, off topic, I know, but what are your thoughts on Japanese animation? I never really liked much anime over Western comics, except one like Ghost in the Shell and Akira and Studio Ghibli movies. Go ahead, Gary.
Oh, I'm the same way. There's like 4 or 5 that I like, and I'm not super into it, so I can't critique it. But it's also one of the first cartoons I was into was Battleship Yamamoto, which was called Star Blazers.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
I was huge in the Star Blazers, and then Speed Racer came along, so that was my first anime. I like I'm forgetting his name, the pirate one. That was they did one on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Captain, that was cool. Attack on Titan is the shit. That is good. Akira is awesome. Robotech is great. So yeah, like what I've seen, I love. I just need to see more of it. That's all.
Um,
Yeah. So,
Ghost World. Okay, anime is a matter of preference. Like food,
yep.
sometimes you prefer pizza, other times you feel like sushi. That's from Jody. Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, we missed you on Doctor Who, Jody. What happened?
um, Ghost World also says, I love Batman Beyond, but what was a really underestimated series? And then he trails off. So
Yeah.
we don't have any. Yeah, I honestly, I'm probably one of the biggest Batman Beyond fans. Gary knows this. I have the whole series on DVD. I read the comic series. I was pissed when when DC ended the comic series to reboot the DC universe, making the Batman Beyond world as part of that reboot, or the jumping off point for that reboot. So that kind of perturbed me because they had a really good series going and then they just jettisoned it for whatever happened there. So yeah, I'm bitter about that.
Jody agrees with me. I'm Dark Knight Rises. You're right. You're right, Jody. So yeah, so we'll wrap this one up. It looks like you guys are eager to talk about other stuff. I wish I had, if I didn't have this damn day job, I'd restart another podcast and we just do an open chat. But I got a day job that I got to get to. So we got to wrap this one up. There is no happy next week.
I do want to say one thing. I just want to answer Riverbrain 10,000. He said Dark Knight Rises was an Iron Man 3 for me. Hated it with the Mandarin twist. If you go back and watch the last Marvel one shot that they did for that, where the Mandarin is in jail, called Big Shot, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, just watch that.
Watch that.
It's pretty good. But
really
Iron Man 3, yeah, that's something I watched and liked, and then I went watched it again and went, yeah, it's not very good. There's moments, but yeah. He wasn't really ever in a costume. He was flying around the car. I didn't know what the hell they were doing. So, but they know what they're doing on Happy. This is a great freaking show. And we're not going to get an episode next week. I guess it's skipping till the 10th. So we will be skipping with them on the 10th. But we will be back next Wednesday. If you guys give a crap about the X-Files, we'll be covering the X-Files. My wife, Melissa, will be joining us.
Sweet.
Our next podcast is this Friday, 8 p.m. live, our Nerdrotic podcast where we talk about everything, just whatever. Just not politics. That's it. And we're going to do 2 of those this weekend. We're going to also do a New Year's Eve special where we're just talking about anything, your favorite stuff for the year, or what you're looking forward to, or what you hated. Yeah, you can complain or praise, whatever you want to do. Then Monday, The Gifted comes back, and there's Runaways. Then there's X-Files. There's No Happy, and there's just I think we're doing like 9 podcasts in the next 6 or 7 days. So we're going to be very, very busy, and we're really, really close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you have subscribed already, thank you so much. I cannot believe we're close to that. That is blowing my mind because we started the year with 30. We started the year with 30 subscribers, and what do we have? 30 subscribers, and we had like a few videos up, and the bulk of our content has come out this year. So yeah, this is our 319th show, going back 4 years. We're coming up on our 4-year anniversary, so I'm including podcasts and every recap we've done, everything that's on iTunes. 319. So we've been doing this for a long time, but we just had to figure out where we fit. And I guess we kind of fit. I mean, we're still small. It's not going to my head, but we kind of fit on YouTube. So
I was going to answer Ghost World's question here. He says, any chance you can post a schedule of your live events? I can't remember all of this. If you go to our webpage, nerdrotic.com, and go to our shows, our schedule down there, you'll actually see our schedule. We posted up there as to what we're doing for the week. So you can take a look at that.
That is our main website. The link will, I always put our links in the description below a video too, if you ever want to come back to it later. Our Instagram, our Facebook, our main website, iTunes subscription, Patreon. It's all there. It's all there. Or you can ask, nerdrotic.com. If you want to email any of us, you could just find the email, like I said, in our about page, or just go nerdrotics@gmail.com. Dennis has a Twitter. He'd like you to follow him. It's at Daforce, DAFORCE, like saying Daforce. And mine is at Nerdrotics. So just put an S at the end of Nerdrotic. And yeah, follow me on Twitter. I don't do a ton of Twitter stuff, but I'm trying to get back into it. I really was heavily into it in like 2010, 2011. And then I got like a little too addicted to it and I was kind of shit posting a lot. So I stopped. I stopped.
And
as I was, yeah, my wife got on me about it. So,
so I was just gonna mention, Jody, we don't do Lucifer just mainly because we cover so many shows, and that one is so far off comic book. It's a police procedural now at this point with the occasional demons.
if we had time, I'd cover it. My wife loves that show, and I catch up on it, but it's like usually like a binge. Yeah, it's just something that can't fit into our schedule, unfortunately. But if our schedule opens up, we definitely try it. If there's something out there you guys really want us to try, we'll do it. Just ask. That's all you have to. All you have to do is ask. Yeah. So we'll wind it down. Any final words on Happy, Dennis?
No, I'm just,
Don't spit them out all
I'm
at
glad,
once, buddy.
glad we reached a happy ending, that we
We
all want.
we got the on the nose happy ending joke in Happy. As long as they don't play the song Happy, I'm fine. And if they do play the song Happy, I want it to be to like a mass murder or something, or a mass suicide, something like that.
Or have it as a ringtone, like an ironic ringtone.
That would be funny. They probably wouldn't let them, but damn, this is a good show. I'm so happy for Derek and Grant too, but mostly happy for Derek Robertson because I know how long he has been waiting for like one of his properties to make it, and this is a great start because this is, when one thing does good, they go, well, hey, that's by that guy Derek, and then they're going to do the boys, and if they do the boys good, then we get Transmet, which is what we're all waiting for. Okay, let's be honest here. Real quick, prizes for the last episode of Happy. If you're just drop a comment. I'm also going to remember you guys from the chat. Okay. It's the same few guys or gals. I don't know. You're already written down. So your names are going in the hat to win a sketch by Derek Robertson. All 4 issues, including some variants, all signed by Derek. One of them does have a Happy sketch on the cover. And last but not least, The Art of the Boys by Derek Robertson, which is also signed. These are all courtesy of Derek Robertson, who was unable to join us during our Happy Cast, but he will be joining us in January to talk about the boys. We're going to do that live. Cross your fingers, and you guys will be able to ask him questions and such. So he's very excited about it, by the way. He's one of the friendliest guys to fans that I know, and that's how we became friends. All right. Thank you all for watching, everybody. We love you guys. Especially we got regulars now. This is awesome. You guys are. This is great.
It's like hanging out in the comic book store again. Just kind of like what we wanted to do, to begin with.
Yeah. I seriously have so much fun doing it. It's ridiculous. So, yeah. Dennis, take us out.
Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, America and the rest of the world.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks, everybody in the chat.
Thank you.